Jay Stott's fourth album. He says third, we call it four. So anyway, thank you all for being here. We're going to open this with a warm-up song from Chris Stapleton and or the Steel Drivers, but then after that we're going to play the entire album front to back. So without further ado, this is the Jay Stott Band.
Here's the plan for this evening. We're going to do two sets tonight. First set, we're going to do the record all the way through in order. Second set, we're just going to rock out with a short break in between. Thank you for flying Jay Stott Airlines in the event of a water landing. Your seat may be used for flotation. Emergency exits are in front of you, but maybe to the rear of you. And tip your bartender really well. We're going to say it a lot tonight, but we tune because we care. All right, we're going to keep the train theme going. This is a song about a train in a little bit of a different way. Have you ever met someone or have you ever been someone who thought their relationship failed because of an inanimate object? Yeah, it ain't the train, buddy. Go to therapy. 1, 2, 3, 4.
She's a Longmont singer-songwriter. She's awesome, and you should check her out. But she came and sang some backing vocals on this song on the album track, and it was really fun. I've known Finn since she was 8 years old, so it was pretty cool to work with her in the studio and have her be on this record. That was really fun. This song's called That's How It Seems. Voice keeps whispering, maybe you're a little low. The apples in the store to the money is small. That's if you can find any apples at all. I'm still out here watering the tree. Maybe I'm only chasing dreams. Anyway, that's how it seems. I can't shut up and I don't sit still. What I got, they don't make a bill. Living in my own skin has always been a fight. From the stage I see the whole world spinning while singing songs about things God sinning. Laura mowing my head, feels like it's alright. The apples in the store to the money small. That's if you can find any apples at all. I'm still out here watering the tree. Maybe I'm only chasing dreams. Anyway, that's how it seems. Someone's looking out somewhere. I'm still with the sound of rolling tide. I got Chris Knight on stereo. Sideways signs to show me where to go. I'm still out here running down Main Street. Anyway, that's how it seems. The apples in the store to the money small. That's if you can find any apples at all. I'm still out here watering the tree. Maybe I'm only chasing dreams. I think I might be only chasing dreams. Anyway, that's how it seems. Oh, thank you. And thanks to Finn O'Sullivan for singing on that track. And thank you, young lady, for dancing. We really appreciate that. That's awesome.
I know something you guys don't know. This little gal in the shiny little skirt's her birthday today.
It's your birthday? How old are you? Wow. That's so cool.
4 years old.
Happy birthday.
Good way to start her life, Dad.
Yeah, great 4th birthday, Dad.
And I wish my parents were this cool. I think for my 4th birthday, I went to see Sean on.
So much is clear to me now, Derek. All right, I want to shout out someone who's not here tonight because he's on tour with a band that pays a lot better than I do. The guy who has engineered, mixed, co-produced, and played drums on all of my recorded music, Brian McCrae, who lives over in Lyons at Wrecking Room Studio. One of the best, if not the best, drummer in the state of Colorado. The guy's just unbelievable. He's also a terrific ski buddy, but he's out on tour with Big Head Todd right now, so he wasn't available for this gig. So I'm pretty sure Big Head Todd's paying him more than I'm paying John anyway. So John's like, I'm getting paid?
I mean, I got 2 free Cokes. I was thinking that's pretty good.
Oh, Brian's been a good friend for about 12 years now and helped me make 3 records, and I really appreciate the energy he's brought to what I do. And he's not really an Americana alt-country guy, so I've really appreciated him leaning into learning exactly what it is I was doing. I knew it was working a couple years into it.
working with him when he sent me a text of a drum track he was working on for a very mainstream rock band, and he was like, if I played like this for you, you'd fire me. Okay, we're learning here. This next song is about the dual perils of wearing your mask incorrectly and dating in the workplace.
Job. No one knew him or his past or who he planned to rob. He spied across the room one night, his heart began to throb. But the fella sitting next to her never quite this love. The job it went without a hitch. He emptied all the drawers, but his mask had slipped as he turned and headed for the doors. Only for a moment his success was still assured, till he saw her seeing him and she looked up from the floor. You think timing's all that matters, moment of a minute late. Whatever you believe, you're in the hands of fate. 2 days and 2 towns over, and still with all the weight of a wallet full and a heart as well, he swore it's not too late. Your simple invitation would serve as enough bait, and a plea for a meeting on a not too distant date. On the beach beneath the waning moon, what had passed between them sends simple glance across the room. He breathed a sigh, he began to hum a happy little tune. To himself he said, ah, she pulled her back and said, no, too soon. You think timing's all that matters, a moment of a minute late. Never you believe you're in the hands of fate. His feet upon the crate, he knew his time was over, his score was written upon the slate. Looked upon her in the crowd, he said, my dear, I cannot wait. Always thought I'd leave too soon, but now it seems I leave too late. Time's all that matters, a moment early, a minute late. Never you believe you're in the hands of fate. You think timing's all that matters, a moment early, a minute late. Never you believe you're in the hands of fate. So remember, kids, always wear your mask properly while you're robbing banks, and best not to date where you work. John, their children here. This is why John's mic has an off button.
You should push it more often.
All right, one of the other fun things we should, John. One of the other fun things we're doing tonight is giving some stuff away. So if you want to get some free crap
Because everybody likes free crap. Use that phone device you have, scan the QR codes on the speakers on either side here, and that will enter you to get some free crap. She wants all the free crap, so if nobody enters, she gets all of it. John Bunsley, who's over here on guitar, and I met, yay John! We actually first met in about 2010. Wow! Down the street at an open mic at what used to be the Dickens Opera House and is now some other functioning thing, I don't know what. But, and we crossed paths at song school, and then the first time we really hung out, we were at Folk Alliance International, which is like a bunch of people with guitars on meth for 3 days straight. It's a music business conference. That year was in Kansas City. It's in Kansas City every other year. And it's pretty crazy. It was my first time at FAI. John had been there before. And we were on about day 3, and John was like, hey, you want to go just hang out and pick some tunes somewhere? And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And so there are 2 hotels that are part of the conference, and they're connected by a sky bridge downtown KC. And so there's actually a little seating areas in the sky bridge. So we went out on the sky bridge, and we were just sitting there trading some tunes and having a good time, and our guitar case was open, and we made about $5 that afternoon. It was a wonderful start.
We split a sandwich.
And so we knew each other pretty well. We hung out quite a bit. And in 2017, I was sort of contemplating what to do next musically, and I was like, I'm going to start a band, and it's just going to be under my own name. I'm going to do my thing. You know, I'd done other people's bands and other people's things for a while. I was like, we're just going to do this, and it's going to be my way. And I called up John, and I said, John, this is what I'm thinking. Would you be interested in participating in this nonsense? And John said that actually sounds pretty sensible, because I was trying to bring together everything I had learned about what not to do as a band leader, which was considerable at that point. And so I was like, great, so we got a gig at Rosalie's. So John and I played our first show together right next door at Rosalie's, and we had never rehearsed. We just went and played a show, and it worked out pretty good.
I mean, I guess so.
We're still here, so that's pretty cool. It's awfully fun to have these long-running relationships. This song was the first song we recorded for this record. Actually, in 2019, we started working on it, and then, I don't know if you remember, things got a little disrupted. Fairly quickly after that. And being in a hermetically sealed studio altogether seemed like a bad idea for a while. So we actually worked out a workflow where we were sending stuff back and forth on the internet. Brian McRae and I would work on some stuff, and then we would send it up to Derek and John, and they would work, send it back. And by the time we got it finished doing it that way, things had improved a little bit, where you'd be around other human beings without being in fear. So we shot a video for this song up at the Loveland Feed and Grain Building, which is where Derek and John were living at the time. John still lives there. They have really yuppified that building. So I feel really good about the fact that my video for this song is a record of a wonderfully decrepit old grain elevator building. It was like really trashy when we shot the video, in the most aesthetically pleasing way, for the record. Anyway, if you want to go online and see John and Derek looking pretty cool and me looking considerably less so, there is a video for this song. This is the title song of the record. It's called One Angel Wing.
nobody cares about that sorry old angel wing. One angel wing, have a hope down in the alley, searching for dough. It sure won't save you when you're swinging from a rope. Shaking that sorry old angel wing. I used to have two, but there's only one left. I'm the victim of that judgment on me just there. I'm sitting on the curb, crying in breath. Mourning the loss of that sorry old angel wing. I used to be known as the guy who could fly. Now I can't get off the ground. I try. Nobody even looks when I walk by. Shaking that sorry old angel wing. You just got one old angel wing. It's white, it's got feathers on it. Did anybody see that? I might have left it over at Rosalie's. Thanks, Addie. You're a really good dancer. You know, when you're like the band leader, you think about a lot of things that don't necessarily have anything to do with music. And one of the things I think about when we're doing a show is efficiency. And I don't like to switch guitars that often. It slows things down and it just, I don't know, it's not efficient, right? So most of the time I play an acoustic guitar, but we kind of figured we'd do this the way they got recorded. And this next song, I was kind of leaning into my grunge era. Yeah, exactly, right? And Peter's down with this, right? Little extra crunch there.
So in like 2017, I start thinking I'm going to pull this project together and get something going here that's something I'm in charge of, basically, is what it comes down to. And John had signed on to this nonsense, and I was like, all right, we're going to find some people. So we were, and so we were kind of auditioning some people, and looking at some different people, and a lot of people here tonight are musicians. And there's some key positions that can be really hard to fill. Sadly, guys who play guitar come in 12 packs. There are a lot of guys who play guitar, right? If that's what you're looking for, that ain't hard to find. Even some pretty good ones. Not as good as John, but pretty good. But finding a good bass player is tough. And we had tried with a couple different people, and they all turned out to be weird.
Still looking.
They're still weird. I mean, bass players are weird. But after a while, we'd gone a couple rounds with a couple different people, and John was like, well, this guy Derek's playing bass for my band. John has his own band. You can look him up. John Bunsley writes great songs. And he does. Anyway, he said, this guy Derek's playing bass for me. I don't think he's doing anything else right now, but okay. So we were at a music festival, a little music festival up in Berthoud, and Derek and his wife, Holly, were going to be there, and I was there, and John was there, and we thought, oh great, we'll have a chance to get together. And so when Derek says Holly made him do it, she was like, go over there and play your bass with that guy. And so Derek drug his bass over to where I was, and we were about 90 seconds into a song. We're like, yeah, this is gonna work just fine. And that's how Derek ended up being a part of this project. And I gotta say, Derek is the guy who keeps us on time. He keeps us in the right key. He keeps us on the right tempo. He makes sure I don't drool on myself. He's the man. He's holding it all together. And he keeps playing this really oversized violin with us. And I tell him, if you would just put it in the dryer on the hot cycle, it would get a lot smaller. I've really enjoyed playing with Derek these last couple of years. It's been really fun. Playing with John and Derek have been the core of what we do live for about 8 or 9 years now. And it's been a really, really good thing. Is anybody really sick of having stuff marketed to you at this point? Yeah. I figure out most of the time I just let the songs say what they gotta say, and if you're listening to the words, you mostly figure out what I think about things. But I think the moment we let the advertisers run the world was bad. It's not working out well for us on a lot of different fronts here.
Train is
Thank you so much, and ignore all the marketing messages.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
If you listen to the record, it's you know, kind of guitar, bass, and drums, rock and roll. That's what I do. But I want to give a shout out to two people who played on some of the songs on the record. They're not here tonight. That was a level of complication we weren't willing to entertain. But a guy named Ryan Benthal, who lives down in Boulder, and a guy named Scott Coulter, who lives in Denver and plays with the Gasoline Lollipops. Both played organ parts on a bunch of different songs on this album, and both of them are truly amazing musicians. And to watch someone who's really steeped in the theory, technique, and history of playing a Hammond B3 is a really joyful thing in the studio. It was really fun to have both those guys play on this record, so I just want to give them a little shout out.
Put your capos in the right places, fellas.
Yep. Thanks, John. John was very politely reminding me that I need a capo for this, so there you go.
And up until now, it was done very subtly. But
All right, most of my, I like to do, one way to describe your music, you spend a lot of time thinking about this, is if you're a musician, like in business terms, like how do you describe what you do? And I have all different kinds, you know, it says sad, gritty, and loud on the t-shirts. I think that's pretty much covers it for me, but if you're like talking to someone who works in the business, they want a little bit more than that. And so I'm always thinking about it, and one thing I often say is horribly depressing lyrics played with an upbeat attitude, and that's true of a lot of my songs. So, and then every once in a while a song pops out that's really different, and this one was really different. A local guy who many of you know, David Coyle, used to have a podcast. He's a wonderful musician, and the shtick of the podcast is he would invite other musicians onto the podcast, and you would get a prompt the week before, and you would both write a song to the prompt and make like a little scratch recording of it that he could play on his podcast. And then the podcast was a discussion of your process. And if you know anything about songwriting, you know the fact that you start from the same prompt doesn't mean you're going to get anywhere near the same song. So I was on Dave's podcast in 2020 or 2021, and he said he always gives you a choice of prompts, and one of them is always visual. And there was this picture of this young woman in sort of very formal, maybe past century clothing. She was holding an umbrella, and she was standing on top of an old beat up like office desk in a junkyard. And it was a black and white photograph. It was fairly arresting, and she was sort of looking like she was about to jump off this desk, only it was a desk, so she didn't look like she was in danger. She just looked like she was contemplating jumping. And that was the starting point for this song. Standing on a cliff, looking down, wonder where the water goes, feel the air, no one else is around, wonder what the wind knows. You could jump or you could step back, either way you learn what you learn, that's the only fact. And you gotta keep a little faith when the chips are down. It's the only ace, and you gotta keep a little faith. in yourself. Never let anyone else leave you on the shelf. You gotta keep a little faith. When the chips are down, it's the only ace thing. You gotta keep a little faith. It's the only thing that will get you through it great. You will feel like you can't go on, that you wanna quit. You've been fighting for so long, just can't make the pieces fit. But the puzzle can take care of its own. Hold on to the things that keep you moving on. You gotta keep a little faith. When the chips are down, it's the only ace. You gotta keep a little faith. It's the only thing that gets you through it. Thank you so much. We all need a little faith in something or other right now. Something. Right? I have faith in little girls in sparkly dresses dancing in big sandals. I got a lot of faith in that. We've had a bit of a rotating cast of drummers in the Stott band over the past 3 years. And I'm going to say tonight, and I'm not just buttering Chris up, Chris Peterson back here is my favorite. Chris came to us by way of another Denver all-country band called All Through the Night that we've played some shows with, and I told Chris while we were rehearsing for this show, if Chris didn't live down in Denver, I would call Chris for every single gig. And I might start doing that anyway, and Chris will just have to suck it up and drop. Because we've really enjoyed prepping for this show with Chris. It's been really awesome.
We stole her fair and square.
We stole her from another band, Fair and Square. I mean, that's how I got you, Derek. All right, big shout out tonight. I wrote this song.
song about 6 or 7 years ago. I'm a part of an online songwriting group, and every other month we do a week where we write a song every day of the week. We just go 7 for 7. And it's pretty fun, and nobody cares whether your song is good or not. The point is just to do the work and be doing the work. And it's a really wonderful, supportive community. And I would say half the songs on this record were written with that group, the Fearless Songwriting Group. And there was a prompt a couple of years ago, and it was a Econoline van. And I was like, I got this covered. I grew up riding in Econoline vans to hockey games and wrestling tournaments. And then if you play in a band, you've spent a lot of time in an Econoline van. It's just the way of it. They don't make them anymore, and that's kind of sad. Glenn's written in an Econoline van. And I need to give a shout out because we'd written this song, and I have some friends in Lyons, and I knew them from music festivals, and they have this really awesome van. So I called Sean and Julie up and I said, hey, would it be cool if I borrowed your van for a video shoot? So we shot this video in Lyons with Sean and Julie's van. The name of the van is Vinnie Van Gogh. You can find it immortalized online to this song. Napkins and coasters for ladies and a bar. Always keeps going, never passes any car. Driven so far, we could have been wrong. Econoline van, get you to the show and nothing else can. Only way to go when you're playing in a band. Econoline van, Econoline van. Swing in the back if you don't mind the stage. We'll be happy to take your money by selling stuff. I have CDs and t-shirts over there. The little round stickers, they're free. Take them. A big round sticker, that costs money. You know, stickers are a very useful thing to have. You should always have some stickers. You got a rust spot, you got a dent or a hail mark, put a sticker on it. You have some torn vinyl furniture, put a sticker on it. You have a leaky inflatable raft. Throw a sticker on it. Stab wound, bullet gunshot wounds, you put a little sticker on it. Derek's used them many times. But
if you scan the cards hanging from below each speaker before we play the last song on the album, which is 2 songs from now, we will give some crap away. So if you want some crap. Carlo wants crap. Shadow Animal wants crap.
We are crap.
It's a crash. It's a crash.
It's good when you can laugh it off.
I don't know about you guys, but you might have noticed that I'm like a white male of relatively average height, and that's like a thing in the world, right? I'm like a white guy, and I've become aware in the past decade or so that I'm like moving through the world with the maximum amount of privilege available to any human ever, right? Which doesn't mean I haven't had my challenges, I certainly have, but I have never once worried about the police shooting me, even when, quite frankly, I deserved it. So, you know, I'm just aware of that, and I come from a family where, you know, on one side of my family there were people who fought for the Confederacy in the Civil War, and on the other side of my family there were Quakers who the suspicion is were helping on the Underground Railroad. So, that's complicated. And I'm not saying this song has any answers. If anything, it just poses questions. But I wrote this song because I was thinking about that stuff. Son who never has come home. fight. Though they claim they're on different sides, they come from the same cold light. I sit and stare silently, though I know I should choose. Either way I turn, it seems I always lose. I am an American son, my sisters are American daughters. Raised on too many guns and undrinkable water. Our fathers' sins are written on God's blotter. I am an American son, a witness to the slaughter. I am an American son, I wonder what that bought her. I am an American son, now I have an American daughter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we got one more song in this set. Then we're going to take a really quick break because the union rules say we have to regularly hydrate our bassist, and he's almost out. We're going to take like 10 minutes, and then we're going to get back at it and just rock out and have a good time. In that 10 minutes, I would love to say hi personally to as many of you as I possibly can. Just so you know, at the end of the night, I will stay here until Joe kicks me out, talking to each and every one of you, because we appreciate you coming out tonight so much. Really, a lot. I want to do a couple shout outs. My daughter has had to listen to rough mixes of every song I've ever put out publicly. I really appreciate that. All through high school, we would be driving to school in the morning and she'd be listening to rough mixes of one song or another. Also, she's a really killer photographer and videographer, and she's been helping me the past couple years with shooting some video and working on stuff, so I really appreciate that. And the amazing person who checked you in tonight is the person I've had the privilege of calling my wife for the last 28 years. She's an incredibly tolerant, long-suffering person. She thought she was getting an Alaskan fishing guide, and she's got an English teacher and a wannabe rock and roller, and sometimes just a basket case, and all those things. So I have so appreciated her support. Let's see, has everyone, have we looked at the QR codes? If you want to win some crap, are you ready to win some crap? Let's see if I can give away some crap. I gotta use my phone. All right, we have 10 total entries. Here we go. We're gonna give 3 things away right now. We'll give more away later, just so you know. Right now, we're gonna give 3 things away. Must be present to win, by the way. So, let's see what we get. Rebecca Lopez, are you here? Yay! Front and center.
You want a hat or a t-shirt, Becky? You want a t-shirt? These are one of the OG Stott t-shirts. You can trade it with me at the price.
All right. Christine Cusser, where are you? You get a hat. Does Addie want a black hat or a red hat?
Yeah, that's a hat it is.
And Shadow Animal. Chris.
He gets a black cat. I get a shadow animal and a black cat.
You betcha. His name's actually Chris, just so you know. He's an amazing musician. He performs under the name Shadow Animal. He's really awesome. You should check him out. All right, we'll give more stuff away in a little bit. This is the last song on the record, but it's probably the oldest song on the record. I wrote this more than 10 years ago. I grew up outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, out in the western suburbs, which is much more suburban now than it was when I was a kid. But the great thing about Minneapolis, well, there are a lot of great things about Minneapolis. The mosquitoes and the winter weather are not on the list of good things, but one of the great things is you can live in the western suburbs of Minneapolis and be downtown Minneapolis in like, well, I happen to know from my high school days about 13 minutes. That's not legal. 16 would be more reasonable, but you know, it's very quick. You can be downtown. I spent a lot of time at the all-ages clubs downtown. Really legendary place called 7th Street Entry. Used to have shows, and I know it's still there. I cut a lot of my teeth watching bands that went on to be like kind of famous, like Husker Du and Soul Asylum and the Replacements. I know. I paid like $2 to see each one of those bands in the 80s, which was cool. But when I was like 16 and I had a driver's license, like Minneapolis was cool and I knew Minneapolis. St. Paul seemed kind of exotic and far away. And it's just on the other side of the river. Anyway, that started this song. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. I would love to sell you some if you want to buy some. If you just want to say hi and shake hands or have a hug, I'd love to do that too.